Golf Central Update, brought to you by TaylorMade.
After a historic 2-month closure, St. Andrews Golf Links reopened on May 29th. Now, Scotland was the last country in the UK to reopen its doors for golfers. It's hard to imagine that a 2-month period at the home of golf would be absent of the game of golf being played. And we are very pleased to be joined once again to get an update on the industry of golf and participation from the Senior Managing Director at GolfAdvisor, that is Brandon Tucker. Brandon, it's good to see you. Let's start right there with Scotland. We know that their thirst and desire for golf never wanes. What has it been like since it reopened in terms of demand?
Well, from what I hear over in the UK and Ireland, it's been a sunny, it's been a dry spring. So I know that people have been itching to get out and play golf and really just be outside in general. And I know there's so many courses in Scotland to play that it's certainly been a focus. And the golfers are certainly celebrating the news that golf can reopen with some pretty heavy restrictions, but golf is open.
Brandon, let's get to just that, because you have joined us in the last several weeks to talk about restrictions state to state here in America. What are the restrictions specific that you think are most important that are being imposed upon golfers in Scotland and the UK?
Well, really, unlike the States, the UK and Ireland really in lockstep shut everything down starting March 23rd. But they all had different opening dates. And you saw Ireland and Northern Ireland kind of go in lockstep around May 18th, May 19th. England and Wales, May 13th. What we're seeing, though, it's much different. So Scotland and Wales have instituted a 5-mile radius policy, so you can't go play golf outside of 5 miles. They really don't want you doing anything leisure-related outside of 5 miles from your home. So there's those restrictions. Now, in Ireland and Northern Ireland, it's a little different dynamic. They don't have the similar type of travel restrictions, but right now, at least until end of June, probably June 29th, only members can play golf courses in Ireland and Northern Ireland. Members can bring guests. It's looking like in about a week or so. That's all subject to change, of course. I would say that the most open to golf right now, it's a little surprising, but it's England. We've seen the most courses open their tee sheet to the public. Demand has been very high there. The courses that do have online tee sheets are experiencing about 100% year-over-year increase, which kind of speaks to the weather and the pent-up demand both ways. So really, your best bet for playing public golf right now in the UK and Ireland would be England. The public can play courses in Scotland and Wales. It's just a very tight 5-mile restriction.
Brendan, you know this as well as anybody. The demographics of golf in that part of the world is very reliant on the international travelers. So many Americans will make the pilgrimage on an annual basis to go over there. What does the forecast look like in terms of access, and when is that going to be available?
Well, I spoke with Joe Lyons of Lyons Links, one of the many tour operators over in Ireland and the UK. And they're really just looking at 2020 as a wash for overseas travel. They've rebooked or refunded up pretty much everybody going up into the end of this summer. But the one positive thing for them is that they're seeing a 90% rebooking rate for 2021. And that seems to be a pretty common number with other tour operators I've seen and spoken with. So what that means is 2021 is already shaping up to be almost full. And what Joe was telling me at Lions Links is he's already starting to get additional bookings in 2021. So you're looking at these metal links like St. Andrews, Portrush, and County Down, these ones that fill up very fast. Their tee sheets are pretty much full for 2021 already. Now, there are some groups that do have group trips planned towards the end of the year, August, September. Joe's telling me those guys aren't ready to cancel yet. I'm hearing that from other people where they're kind of trying to be optimistic and hope they can go. A lot of it just depends on where we're at with the curve and quarantine mandates and things like that. But in speaking with them, it sounds like the metal links, that really kind of creme de la creme of clubs over there, they should be able to weather a 2020 with more local play. And maybe also a little bit of play coming from other regions of the UK and Ireland, and even Europe is starting to loosen some restrictions. So While North America is definitely the dominant market for those courses over there, as Europe opens, you may start to see, maybe more Germans and French coming to fill the tee sheets as opposed to Americans.
Brandon, let's talk about North America, specifically the United States. Your Industry Weekly reports last week, you noted that over 90% of the courses in the U.S. are now open. How about in the major markets? What are you seeing from the major metropolitan markets as far as demand?
Well, demand's really sky high almost everywhere in the U.S. But what we're noticing with the large cities is that with really only about 3 to 5% of U.S. courses still closed, there are a lot of municipal courses that, for whatever reason, haven't opened yet. And if you look at the largest cities in the United States, you have New York City. They have not opened their city golf courses. That's 13 courses that they haven't opened. And then you look at Chicago, the Parks District courses have not yet opened either. They're just awaiting guidance on when they can. So even though Illinois has relaxed their restrictions now to foursomes and carts, the city of Chicago has not opened their courses. And I want to contrast that with the city of Los Angeles. They reopened on May 9th after being closed for about a month or so. They went to 12-minute tee time intervals, and you have to book a tee time in advance. There's no more walk-up play. And what they're telling me is their rounds are up year over year 20%, in spite of the fact that the intervals are so much different. They're basically seeing full tee sheets from 5:30 in the morning till twilight. And so what that tells me is that LA is doing things right. They've been able to rebound from this stronger than ever. While the operators in Chicago and New York's municipal systems, they got to be chomping at the bit to get going and get a piece of some of this action. I will mention that Bethpage State Park on Long Island is open for New York golfers as well as other privately owned public courses.
Brandon, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Golf Central Update, brought to you by TaylorMade.